Good morning. Good morning. Look who actually got up this morning. All right.
That's some weird. Is that chocolate?
I told you that. I
No.
told you it was chocolate. Would you like to wait or?
What do you mean?
And there, you're in the shot. I adjusted that. Sorry, all that went down.
Good morning, guys. How you guys doing today? Hey, Bullet John. How you doing? Hey,
All
Ted.
right.
How you doing?
Hey, Ted. Good morning, guys.
Hey, Lou. Hey, Tim.
All right, we're going to wrap this week up. A lot to discuss. We have new clips from Chad2Dad. Stupidest thing I think I've seen yet come out of his mouth. We're going to talk a little bit about Q's adventure, but I'm pretty sure my decision is a no on that coverage, but we'll do a partial coverage of it and decide if I'm going to cover that situation because I've got an opinion both ways on that. His employee situation, him appearing on Sunshine's shoulders. And after he did that, it started making me think. And then I'm like, I don't know, that kind of didn't go over very well for me or a bunch of others. There was like multiple comments on his channel and of people how they felt. Now he's trying to sell his business and he did it on Sunshine's channel. And hey, I know you do, this ain't that type of situation. And you're not that type of guy. And I'm like, well, how well do you really even know anybody these days? They've met up a couple times as vloggers, and that doesn't exactly, make people exactly credible. So the guy popped up out of nowhere 2 years ago, going through the vlogging community, and he mostly does poverty porn, in my opinion, or dealing with women on his channel all the time. And all of a sudden, after he did that Ken thing, and he's even outright asked for money, he all of a sudden came up with a bike shop and a bunch of other things. But I don't know much about his life all the way around. I don't know if he arrived with money. I think he's somewhere around the age of 46. So we know he's not on Social Security. There's no way he's doing the vlogging he's doing and keeping a job. Maybe I don't know a whole lot about the guy. But as of yesterday, I thought we would start to cover some of his situation. Also, we will be dealing with the short update about Elliot Eastman. And
Don.
Not really. I'm probably just anemic right now. So could be the whitening soap too. All right. So here, before we go in and answer the comments and then get to Q, we're going to throw you one more thing and let you guys all talk amongst yourself. Today, we'll be talking about Hottie, Scotty, Chad2Dad, Brad, Pitt, whatever. Looks like he's
Alec Baldwin, according to him.
This guy, Chad2Dad, has released 3 more videos. We covered him this week. It's crazy how people are twisting the stories. Mostly it's the guy saying, oh my God, his Filipina turned on him as soon as they got there, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, and then of course you got the American women and women all over the world. Oh my God, how could he do this to her? And poor, sexualized, controlled Filipina. A bunch of crap. Just stuff it in the sock. It is what it is. It looks like they had both gotten what they actually deserved at the end of the day. True story, if you think about it. They both are wrong. So now it looks like they're still communicating through videos. I'll wait for her to respond on her TikTok. You do realize this is all commercialized. They're both getting paid on it, by the way. They already admitted that part of it. Oh, I'm monetized. Don't worry about me. And now he put out 2 or 3 videos. I didn't even get to her stuff. That's why we were late. We were trying to put that together. And George is like, hey, I can join the live. And I'm like, dude, I was going an hour early, And so that's what delayed us. But we have a clip where he says she just doesn't have any respect anymore. What something about, oh yeah. All right, let's go ahead and play it, guys.
Hey, Fix It Felix coming at you with some more rage bait. And we're talking about respect and how you disrespect your man, the man of the house, the father. And that is by breaking the stuff that you need to keep the house clean.
Keyword breaking. Now let's see the his definition of breaking, shall we?
Rage bait. Respect is not a one-way street. What you talking about? You know what? I'd slap the respect out of him at that point. I mean, give me a break.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you guys. He's
Even-
really not a man if he's bitching about this, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
At the end of this, I want to know if you would slap him. Let me know, guys.
No, I would lose respect because
Oh, yeah.
he's not a man if he's bitching about this. No, really. You'll see what I mean.
Yeah.
Or running. This is the second vacuum cleaner that I am fixing. Yeah, I started vacuuming this morning to give Jayanne a hand, and it wasn't picking up. It was just throwing dust balls around. And I'm like, what the hell? So yeah, I came down here to find that it's totally clogged. All right.
Okay. Now, did you guys see what he was taking out? It's actually clumps of hair. Now, anybody who knows anything about cleaning and vacuuming, this does happen to vacuums if you guys actually vacuum on a regular basis, it does tend to happen, especially with those pipe type vacuums. He has a pipe type vacuum, not a, you know what I'm talking about?
And
where the canisters
and
in
it
the
is
back.
his dog. He has an oversized dog in
Right.
the house.
That's the next one too.
Pet.
So as you guys can clearly see, it's fur. They're fur balls.
Mm-hmm.
If you're any sort of a man, please be man enough to clean the freaking vacuum and not have your wife do it. Gee, many crickets, man.
But she's a do-it-all, you know? She's got the legs and the eyebrows, and she can hold her baby as she cooks. That's why her area is all dirty, and she can do it all.
Right.
Why does she need him to clean it?
Now here's another
Clean
thing.
his pipes, but she doesn't need to do that.
Let's throw in the race card here. Not really throwing in the race card. Philippine vacuums or vacuums in Asia aren't the same as in the US. In the US, it's kind of like Mopar. You guys know Mopar, you know, vroom, 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 vroom. Americans love their cars, love their big giant engines. Guess what? Germans, Americans love their big giant engines, whereas Asians like something efficient, like wee. My point being is, we don't have this problem because our vacuums run low. Now, they don't suck as well. I'm talking about vacuums here, guys.
Asians do not suck well.
I'm talking about vacuums, like I said. But what I'm saying is, our vacuums aren't as powerful because they're meant to be more efficient. Efficient doesn't mean more powerful. Remember that. So what I'm saying is, you have a Filipino who's used to Asian vacuums who don't have this problem because they never clog up because they're not powerful enough to actually get clogged up in the first place.
All right, so
Right? Those are the facts. What I have to say about that is, number one, it got clogged because this big piece of paper got sucked up into the vacuum cleaner. And that creates a snowball effect.
Okay. He showed the piece of paper. Now, we didn't edit this clip. The piece of paper's been out, and he was still pulling out the fur balls. Get it? So it means the paper was last.
Here's my thing. Respect. that man would have fell apart on day 3 if that had been us. That's what he considers a non-respect stuff, instead of paying for a whole house vacuum cleaner that does have a better vacuuming setup or something else. I mean, I get she's busy and everything, but that's what he considers
that's
respect.
why I mentioned the brand, babe.
And then he snatched the keys out of his father-in-law's hand. He's got his ex-wife running all over, and all the disrespectful things he does with the ex-wife around, and this is his problem.
That's why I mentioned it off camera earlier, the brand or lack thereof.
I didn't want to make it about that. I'm talking about the whole respect thing right now.
Well,
he should have bet about. Never mind.
That's what you just said. He should have bought a better vacuum. Exactly.
Okay.
That was my point.
Okay, you said your piece on that. I said, okay, that's fine. That's your problem is never mind.
What do you mean? You're actually reinforcing what I said earlier off camera.
Oh,
And that's apropos because this is a snowball effect. I started things with my crazy video, and we're going to ride it out. I'm not trying to embarrass Jayan with this. I want to point out some realities. You know, she grew up in the Philippines, and vacuum cleaners are just not a thing in the Philippines. You know, maybe they are in the rich condos of BGC and all that, but where Jayan grew up, and most people in the Philippines grow up, there's no vacuum cleaners. You sweep everything. So, you know.
Okay, then he says that too. Okay, even more reasons. Yeah.
You know what? I still think that offering my services to go live with somebody like the house swap here would make a lot of guys realize.
Wife swap.
Yeah, or something like that. What is really going on? Is he kidding me right now? And we're just talking about like tough love wrapped with huff love, because this guy has no idea what real is. He's living in a major fantasy world.
No, he is again.
In all defense of Jayan, she's just not used to using a vacuum cleaner, and this big, expensive Kenmore Elite's supposed to.
Okay, this is what I said earlier, and some of you may argue with me, but here's the thing: I know a lot of things about vacuums and a lot of machinery, whatever. Kenmore Elite is not a brand; it's a badge. If you don't know the difference, don't even bother talking
Sears?
to me.
Isn't Kenmore a Sears product?
Kenmore doesn't make anything. It's not a brand. Kenmore is just something that buys something and puts their name on it.
Yeah, they label it, guys. You guys know
it's not a brand. It's a label. It's a badge. They call it a badge.
Brand is still
a brand is something that actually produces stuff.
Okay, they do that. I haven't seen it so much as I've seen it here in Asia. Like right now, if I go to buy a toaster, there are 40 companies selling the same toaster. They just switch the name.
Correct.
On it.
That's called a badge. It's called a badge. Now, in the manufacturing world.
All right. Well, that's what I was trying to tell you earlier. Is I didn't want to make this about a
no
vacuum and a type of vacuum.
Well, but you're the one who said he should have bought a better one. Here's the thing.
Well, that didn't mean turn the whole thing into it.
If it's a badge product, it's not a good
his behavior. Who cares?
I know that, but if it's a badge product, it's not a good product.
That's not the point here. The guy's an asshole. His wife is doing the best she can, and he's the real asshole with psychological problems. And this is what he's complaining about. All I was saying is buy a better vacuum and shut the hell up,
and that's why I said better vacuum. And again, for those of you who don't know anything about vacuums, unless your vacuum is Miele, Bosch, or Royal, don't talk to me. If you don't know what those brands are, don't even bother talking to me, because that means you don't know your vacuums. Anyway.
Just grab everything, right? So this isn't a nitpick or a fight. This is just to acknowledge an evolution of understanding each other's cultures. And where I have disrespected her family by misunderstanding the importance of parental respect, at the same time, I'm disrespected because Jan thinks that a vacuum cleaner can pick up golf balls. You know, nobody's fault. It's just something we got to navigate. All right? Bye.
So he wants to compare snatching things and cussing out family members to a piece of paper stuck in there. Oh, hell no. This is why American women cut their asses off. Or guys. Or what you guys want to blame. There's most of the percentage is Western woman, American does it to the guys. And sorry, that's exactly why. Because if you'd have talked to me or put a video on like that, you wouldn't have seen a lick of food or lick of licks or licking that lollipop forever. I'd have put him out of the house. I'd have put him outside of his own damn house. What you talking about complaining about that vacuum? Are you kidding me? That's crazy. That is ridiculous. And he's putting it on social media. And then he put a video out. And his video was somewhere along the lines of, I'm taking the kids out so she can reflect on herself and take some time for herself. And I'm going to wait for her response. And here I am out walking the kids and all this and that. He also said that he doesn't have time to take care of his own kids. He's running a business, aka with his wife, his ex-wife. And did he not say that? He's like, she needs to take the kids. So he knows she's going to the Philippines and she needs to take the kids. So that's something else. He said he doesn't have time. There's no way he could take care of them. So he had all these kids, but if she's leaving, pretty much letting him know that he's not keeping any of them with him. He's not going to, that she has to take them. So it's, it is where it is, guys. You really need to,
FX Trader. Hey, FX Trader. Thanks for talking about this tragedy. He's talking about the stuff going on in California, which is very tragic indeed. I mean, sadly enough, it's kind of like one of those I, I guess you can call it a regional thing. It's kind of like, how you have tornadoes in the Midwest, you have the hurricanes in Florida, and then you have wildfires in California. I mean, honestly, I can't think of anything actually practical to prevent these fires. You know what I'm saying? Same thing, like again in the Midwest and in Florida. So yeah. Lou says, "Hey Heidi, I got my coffee brewing. Getting ready for the show. All right." Tim 3 Roger says, "Good morning, Antics from Columbus, Ohio. Can't wait for the show." Hey Ted, how you doing, man? Good day,
morning.
beautiful people. MB, hello, Philippine Antics Squad. Hair Walsh. Hello, Heidi, George,
Harry.
Sarah, Scott, Ted, and all from a cold Deer Park, New York.
Then you have them winter storms that are coming
32
in.
degrees.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Hey, Bullet John. Jennifer Wilson. Hello, Heidi and George, and everyone from Vancouver Island.
Good morning.
Hey, Victor, how you doing? George and Heidi. Like a spot. Blue. Hey, K Dallas. Good morning, K Dallas.
Good morning.
Hey, Geechee, how you doing, man? Geechee Lion in the house. Good morning, Heidi and George. Jesse Pablo says, "Do you think Paris lost all her Vance Dutch trucker hats?" There you go.
What a shame.
What a shame. What a shame. Oh dang, Billy John says burnt all her thongs 100 miles from me, Bakersfield, California.
Ooh,
Yay.
that smell. Can't you smell that smell? The smell that's around you. By the way, some smart ass, which I always appreciate the trolls. We have fun with them. They came in and is like, somewhere along the line of me being a gypsy or something, what is my prediction now for the fire? And I said, a lot of sale for land and sales going up on extinguishers, but I almost put the sales of marshmallows along with it. So a lot going on to process on that fire, guys. Too soon about the marshmallows?
Too soon about the marshmallows.
Although I knew you were thinking about it.
I was thinking about it, honestly. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Like a foil pack.
Actually, we have an extra clip. It's in 4K. And
no, you ain't, dude.
But
George is a sick dude. He made a 4K clip and he wanted us to run it on our sound channel of crackling fire, just in a loop of the Los Angeles, put it Los Angeles flavor. You a sick man.
With marshmallows.
With marshmallows. Actually,
that's a joke, guys.
Not really. I plan to put it on later. Anything for $1. I'm just going to tell you, either give me the money or just shut up.
I did have a 4K clip, though.
No, he really did make one.
I did have a 4K clip.
You guys think I'm dark. That just added.
It's just a 4K clip of a house burning. I mean, anyway.
In Los Angeles.
Yeah, a Palisades house. It's a 4K clip. And there's a dime a dozen right now all over the internet.
But you wanted me to put it on a loop and play it.
It was a joke. That part was a joke. That's called humor. Dark humor, maybe. But
if I'd have put it on, you'd have been okay with that.
No. No, because it was just an inside joke kind of deal. But John, no fire insurance. But John says ocean full of water. did not use it to fight fire like Hawaii.
Here's my thing. I'm going to talk to you about that real quick now that we're on that topic. What's up with that?
What do you mean?
We got the Hawaii situation. Are they clearing out land for bases and tech worlds? Did they wipe out part of Los Angeles? Because they said they caught the guy that did it. So they're saying this one is intentional. Is this for Elon Musk and all them to come through and buy stuff like Hawaii?
No, you guys have to.
This question.
Well, I can't answer. I can't honestly answer without actually having facts because there's a lot
We're
of.
never going to get real facts.
No. I know that, but what I'm saying is I haven't really researched it. But the thing is if there's a big giant raging fire here in the Philippines soon, then that's the triad. But anyway, but up
Yes,
until
something goes down
then I
here.
can't say anything. Put it that way. Now,
If something happens in the Philippines, then you guys know George was somewhere around that thing, but
right.
Hey,
So
Scooby.
anyway,
Scuba Dooba.
Scooby says, wishing George and Heidi happiness and best times. Oh, thanks so much.
I was doing just fine this morning before Light here showed up.
Oh, well, Jen says firestorm. Yeah, that's actually a good word for it. It's unfortunately.
A lot of land, a lot of houses, a lot of that's crazy. Just no way.
No, I didn't see the clothespins on the fireman jacket, and I don't know what that means either. I mean, I had firefighter friends, but they never mentioned about any, so I really don't know.
Tenderize the meat, right? You probably talking about the animals that I said, no, that's really sad. There's, I posted some stuff on Facebook this morning showing where the hair burn off the animals. And honestly, I almost feel more sorry for the animals than I did the people. It's just how I am. Just, the animals are super innocent and, people choose their behaviors. There's a lot of good people, there's a lot of nasty people, but my heart still goes out to the animals. And George is an animal person too. So,
well, it's kind of like this. It's kind of weird. Like,
I'm going to eat them if stuff goes down. I'm going to eat those animals
what I'm
too. I'm
saying
not
is,
like full vegan out. And I love them and care for them and everything, but my heart just goes out.
for example, we know this guy who keeps his animals in small little cages, like you said, Lou.
There's a lot
And one of them got out, and he went to our property, and we started giving it medicine and all that, and then he came looking for it and grabbed the cat back. But now he keeps looking at us like we're bad guys, like we took his cat.
We've been taking care of that cat way before.
The same thing, like we've been feeding cats in the neighborhood, and this guy came at me and says, "That's my cat. You're taking my cat." I said, "No, no, I'm just showing her to my wife because she's pregnant." But anyway, but that's my cat. I'm like,
the cat's pregnant, by the way. It's the way you said that because she's pregnant.
No, I know that, but what I'm saying, well, that time, but again, now of course it's a cat. It's not our cat, but we take care of strays. We give them medicine, that kind of deal.
Yeah,
and the cat spends more time here all day and I'm sure he doesn't feed the cat.
Okay. We probably should tell them that we're the ones that brought it to the neighborhood. It was out on the main street, like it was going to get hit. We couldn't
it's a
keep
rescue.
it in
It's
our
a
house.
rescue. It's a rescue.
It wasn't even the guy's cat to begin
No,
with. It was
just
a rescue, random rescue that was out on MacArthur that almost got killed.
And we feed it on a daily basis.
So we figured it was better to bring her into the neighborhood than to leave her to get run over.
At least she has shelter and she has food
and then the guy
and water.
claimed it. So, but
claimed it, but not claim it. Like claim property of it, but doesn't take care of it.
Whole point is if that guy caught on fire,
I wouldn't piss on him, as they say. Anyway,
I don't like people. I just don't. I don't like George most of the time.
Laura says when we had fires near where I live, the air was terrible. That air already is terrible because the LA, right, of how low LA sits. Yes.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Wilson. Now I'm not quite sure what you mean by this. How disgusting. Blame it on the kids. Disgusting. Now, when I said it could be the kids. Remember, I don't mean it in a bad way.
When
What I'm saying
you-
is,
where was the reference?
well, that's why I said I don't know where her angle is. But what I'm saying is, kids do things that are innocent, like, oh, here's the cat, it's my cat, and let me tie on this bumper, without thinking that the car or tricycle
okay. No,
might
but
drive
it does.
off.
No, it does happen.
It
They
does
do it
happen
to
innocently.
motorcycles.
And now here's the problem: the cat could be asleep, and the driver couldn't see it. And guess what? It's a motorcycle. You can't hear squat on a motorcycle.
You can't hear
That
on
cat
the
could be
streets.
screeching like heck. And if you're on a motorcycle,
yes, it
all
could
you
have been
hear
a
is a
kid.
brrrr. That's all you hear. So it's
You woke the dog up.
my point is, we don't know the full story. I get it. I understand, but you guys have to understand too. Does this happen in the U.S.? Oh yeah. You know how many kids have tied? I've heard these stories
just
in the
more
U.S. You know.
Yeah, but it's. I don't know, it's a
Well, what I'm
different
saying is,
world
it's
here.
an innocent thing. I mean,
And they're now just starting to enforce animal cruelty here.
no,
They
I'm
just
talking
set a
about
bunch of laws
I'm
the
talking about
last
kids
few years.
putting the leash on the bumper,
Yeah, no,
without thinking.
I get
No,
it.
it's innocent.
But the
It's an
thing
innocent
is
thing.
that I feel that Filipinos care about animals here, but on the other hand, I think there's a lack of understanding.
There's
a lot of people that love them here, but it's
I wouldn't say understanding. Lack of education is probably the better word.
yeah.
And I don't. What's the It's kind of like, without, because I know a lot of really, I really couldn't say it on air, but point being is, a lot of Filipinos do real dirty jobs, and I mean physically dirty jobs, and not because they don't care or not because they're desensitized. It's because they're not educated enough. If that makes any sense, and they do these dirty jobs because I don't think, and a lot of people don't think, because I'm not alone on this thinking, that they do these really dirty, nasty jobs because they don't think that the bacteria will get to them and make them sick. That kind of deal. Anyway, um, Bullet John says, I use to run a chainsaw on the wildland forest fires. My first fire was the Yellowstone wildfires, 1987. I was 18 years old. So you did a controlled burn where you cut a swath kind of deal and make
I
food?
asked people
Yeah.
about that yesterday. They
Yeah.
said that was a possibility.
Sperlin Edwards checking in from Lipata. Good morning, everyone. Yes, this is true. Dogs on roof is very common in Mexico. It is animal abuse because they're literally on the roof, and a lot of times they get forgotten. It's really sad. Smile and be happy.
Hey,
Thumbs
Black
up.
Grandpa
Thank you
is
so
in
much.
the house. Yeah, if you guys aren't subscribed, make sure you guys subscribe. Somebody further down, named Timmy, says, "Is my name Heidi?" Yes. Yeah. I'd
Yeah.
like to answer that a little more in depth, but yes, he's
Well, yeah.
been around for several years doing social media. We're on every platform, so, and it's in the description, and our name's all over the place. So it's
So, Bullet John, you'll be retiring soon, maybe. I'll be 62 in June 2025.
You know who I don't have any sympathy for, and the one animal that I don't like in this neighborhood right now?
Yeah.
Willie.
Aw.
Well, he barks too much.
At least he's barking.
No, that's true. He was really sick. Like, he just started coming around the last few days. So 2-3 weeks. He was on antibiotics for almost 2 weeks. He had to start a second one. And he was on steroids for almost 2 weeks. And finally, I don't know, maybe it's even been a week ago, he finally started barking, but he couldn't bark. He just laid around. We thought he was a goner. It was really, but yeah, you're right. I shouldn't say that about him. Although, no, we just have a bunch of kids walking around the neighborhood driving him crazy. So,
Laura says First Insurance Company has returned to Paradise, California. They are rebuilding area after fire wiped it out more than to be more resistant to fires. Well,
yeah, that's it. You want coffee or something?
yeah, sure.
Jump up here.
The problem is it's not house resistant, not fire resistant houses. The problem is the property line, because the key word is resistant, and anything resistant will eventually burst into flames. And it's they're wildfires, meaning it's the not wildlife necessarily, but the wild fauna is the one that catches on fire and spreads. And it doesn't matter if the house is fire resistant or not. Unfortunately, it'll burn down too. John Hobbs says, I watched a couple of Derek's vlogs and thought perv immediately. Far far away island. Okay, now this can go a few angles. He says, I warned him a year ago about being transparent. Or see, the reason why I said that is because, did you mean as he should have been transparent or shouldn't be transparent?
It's really hard
Because, in my opinion, from what I've seen, he's not transparent. So I assume you're saying he should have been transparent, right?
Here's the thing, you kind of don't really have to get more careful on hiring people, asking them to do the shortcuts. That's expat. That's what you tell. You should have hired a professional. That's a lesson to be learned. Hire the professionals.
Well, it could have.
If he did a professional, it already had all the taxes and set up, and he'd have been paid.
Oh, okay. So that's a different story. Okay, what Heidi's talking about when she said hire a professional.
You have water and drink.
You can hire somebody that they have. I have a juice. You can hire somebody that already have all the paperwork, all the necessary paperwork that you don't have to, where they operate and you're under their umbrella. If that makes any sense, I think that's what Heidi's talking about.
Something like that. When we say if you have the issues, then just hire from a professional housekeeping company. And when you take shortcuts, things happen. And if he was paying what the guy said, which I'm to understand, it was 500 pesos. That's really cheap for an editor, manager, and he was
500 pesos,
right.
That's a security guard wage. It depends on the security guard, but usually.
And it does depend on the area. So we understand people make 400 pesos a day in certain areas. We get it. But when you're putting somebody into your channel like that, and your whole deal and all that is in it, and people know all that stuff, you should have done like a non-disclosure. You should have been like, if we ever hire somebody and our channel gets big enough and we're making a buku money, and buku would be over 1,000 a month. Okay, I'm talking about like if you're making any sort of money at the YouTube in the Philippines, and that would be buku here at 1,000 a month in the Philippines, that you would want all of that non-disclosure, proper wages, like you got to set boundaries and things and job descriptions with them. And I get you're not going to get that with everybody. He evidently hired in the Timu of editor manager is what happened. Sorry, John.
Well,
get with me if you want to join this live stream.
Well, here's the thing. It's what do you call it?
Timu manager.
The editing wasn't impressive, put it that way. Now,
neither is ours.
And no offense to the editor, or because we honestly,
and I work for free.
What I'm saying is, it's hard to discern when this editor operator or not. Put it that way. So
there's a lot going on. I know one other thing, and this is true. We have not us. This is the latest thing that's going on in the toxic expat Filipino, whatever things going on of the YouTubing world. The last couple times, whatever messages we receive, they send it to everybody. They send it to Sunshine. They sent it to regular guy. And then there was a whole nasty form of messages that went out to like 70 different vloggers and included Jen Thornton, Mark Thornton's wife. And she responded nasty to one of them, talking about she was going to sue him, or you ain't going to come here and say it in my face. She got a little snappy with whoever wrote it or whatever. And I don't blame her. But the whole thing is whoever is involved, and I have a good idea who did it, actually sent a message again to a group of people. because Sunshine ended up with the same message that we did, and somebody tried to get us to get involved and say, hey, this is right up your alley. And it's like, yes and no. We've been watching it, but we didn't feel that being this guy is only building his channel based on attacking Q only, that we were just going to, if he'd have had a channel for a while based on different things and he maybe mentioned it once and was just looking for something, maybe, but I'm just going to put it out there. I believe the guy did it himself. I think he sent it out to all the vloggers to get more coverage, because his word is he's promoting like this Chad guy. He's actually said, as soon as I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'm really going to give you guys the truth. I'm like, dude, why didn't you just say the truth to begin with? So
Right. Now, also keep in mind, it doesn't matter who you hire in the Philippines as far as like what I'm saying is it whether they're, the lawn guys, if they're regular, they're regulars. What I'm saying, now we don't do it with the garbage guy, because it's that's different story. No,
well,
but
sometimes you can read something.
but for example, like somebody like for example, like a katulong, a yaya, an editor, people who come into your house every day, that kind of deal. Now, I suggest you guys make some form of a contract. It doesn't have to be a real contract, it's just something in paper, how much they're paid, you know what I'm saying, how long they're supposed to work, and if they do work extra hours, how much they're going to get after that, and then have them sign it. And then after that, whenever you pay them, even katulongs or yayas, get a book, a notebook, and write down the amount and the date and have them sign it that they got paid that day, because it's proof of receipt that they actually received the payment. This is in writing. This is legal. However, if you didn't do any of that, guess what? They can say he never paid me.
Yeah, so there's all kinds of issues, and I know a lot of people take shortcuts, including Filipinos. There's a lot to be learned. As a YouTuber, we've thought about hiring an editor or a researcher or all this stuff, because like right now, it could take me days just to go through Q's stuff, and it's like, because if I have to sit there and watch any length of time of what all these guys are saying, it's a consuming thing. So it's a researcher. And so it costs not only money, I mean, we only make like 600 pesos sometimes on a video. So I'm not paying somebody 600 pesos just to be our researcher a day or something. So why he hired somebody in with that type of channel, I have no idea, but I'm assuming he was busy with other things and took shortcuts, and now he's, going on. Let me know. We have 100 people in here. I'm going to cover it sometime this week. The whole thing. Do you guys want me to bring the other guy in? Put a 1 in there if you guys just comment 1 if you guys want us to bring the other guy in to explain what had happened. I mean, I know it feels like we're choosing one side or the other, like you guys said about Mark Thornton and some other things, but facts are facts, things are things, and like him, he put all his own stuff out there. You could see what happened. We're just putting as much information as we can out there, but I think that I don't know. We both agreed that it just feels like he's just trying to promote his own channel. Is there any truth? He even tried to bring in another Filipina to talk on the fact, and
Then
but it would still be interesting to
that's
hear what he's
why I
got to say.
said that again. As the employer, you have to like CYA, make sure that you have paperwork to show you did pay this guy.
Mhm.
That kind of stuff. You have to show that you do have certifications for whatever you're doing, because in case they turn on you, they can't say, "Oh, this guy's operating without a license. Oh, this guy's operating without a
I'm
DTI.
sure that's
Oh, this
what
guy's."
I started typing up an email to send to him, because all of his information is now in his description. It's like he wants people to get a hold of him, including I think a PayPal account. And the guy just opened his account. So it's like, is he going to? It'll just be for you guys to decide if we have him come on. Is the guy that was employed, is he being truthful? Is there any, you know, stuff? And it's for you guys to decide. It's kind of an open situation. So just let me know.
Yeah. Now, Jazzy, this is somewhat Isn't regular guy good buddies with Q? Makes you wonder. Now,
I don't
now,
know.
good buddies. It
I don't think he's good buddies with Sunshine, and that's what he's saying. How much do they
that's what
really
I'm
know
saying.
Q? You guys,
Most of these people don't really know each other.
no,
I'm
they
not
hang
trying
out a few
to.
times. Even if it was a dozen times, they really don't know
They
each
really
other,
don't know each
guys.
other.
Nope. The same with all the groups in Dumageddon. I don't think they all hang out all the time. You see them at the occasional parties and get-togethers. They may even do it once a week. It doesn't mean that they're,
Right.
a lot of people think that we're just all here in one small party and like it's like arriving,
Faraway Island selling 30 used scooters business for 20 million pesos.
And he keeps talking about, I think he was so off on the yearly and the monthly profit. I think he's trying to claim, correct me if I'm wrong, he said something about a couple 100,000 pesos a month. And I started to think about that. I said, so he's claiming he's making 3 or 4,000 US dollars a month on renting those scooters to people, and that his business just popped off and thrived like that in that area based on, I don't know, guys. And
John says reporting to embassy. I heard Philippines is now background checking expats. Well, they kind of sort of been.
mhm. Okay, so there it is.
Tony Manning says
All right, so
Q's Adventures did a video on Camp Passing. Okay,
all right,
so he
there it
did.
is. So
There it is.
all right. I just read it in another comment. Again, no offense to a vlogger unless I outright just say it. There's too many vloggers now. 4 years ago, we could have just randomly watched the people that we do. But there's so many friends of vloggers, and there's so many of them now. It's just impossible to keep up. I would love to sit around and even some of what we would consider friends that are vloggers now, that have opened channels and sit around and watch their stuff all the time. Unfortunately, it's very rare that we get a chance. We used to watch a lot of the content, but now there's so much of it, and we got our own situation going on. It's hard. Like I was able to hit a live stream yesterday of Barry and the PI was with I can only call him Michael Music Emotion. I can never remember the new channel name. They were in a room, all V and the wives and everything, and Ian in the Philippines was there. So it was really nice to see them all. They looked really good. But it's rare that we get a chance. I just happen to be looking up live streams, and that's how I catch our people and stuff. But it would be really hard to sit through Q stuff too. So
Hello, Jen says them old white guys look like plucked chicken. Yeah.
we all do. I heard when setting up the channel, he hit.
Yeah, you get it. Instead of it should have been peas. Adventure.
Gotcha.
That's why I wasn't.
Oh, yeah, because that's the accusation, as I'm to understand. There's a couple accusations against him that are very serious. So, and I think it's the same as regular guy. At some point, he needed to, and other people like don't address it. But there is a breaking point.
What's that one in the middle?
There's a football game on today. Eagles.
Oh, Eagles. Eagles. Well, actually, I was gonna stomp on the table, but the only jerseys I owned was Eagles. I had the Eagles running back jersey, and then the other one was the Brett Favre jersey when he was Green Bay. But anyway,
that's when you used to love me.
What? I don't think I ever wore my jerseys around.
I still can't believe you like football.
I actually was really good at predicting who would win.
You're good at predicting a lot of things.
Actually, if you guys must know, I usually run simulations on who would win. That's how I knew. But anyway.
I used to run football pools.
Yeah.
Hey, we could always do that for the neighborhood.
Well, John says my wife has a lawyer manage her 3-bedroom house.
Gotcha. George, you look burned out. That guy's a crybaby.
Yes, Tony. Yes, he is. Again, if you guys have to whine and post it on social
About a
media
vacuum
about a
being
vacuum,
clogged up.
Jesus.
We ought to do, you know what? We ought to do like that time. We ought to simulate all this. Like there was one couple that did try to simulate a little bit of their story. We ought to do the whole thing. Remember when I got out in the rain and washed up with a bar of soap like Rose? Rose Campbell had went outside with a niece one time 2 years ago and washed outside in the rain. So when we were living at the other place a couple years ago, I went across the street. I guess I did not expect the water to be cold that day. And I sat out there washing myself like the whole neighborhood was watching for multiple reasons. And no, maybe we ought to simulate that whole situation and make jokes about it on, the vacuum, except for ours looks like a toothpick here.
We
And
have
if
three
you
vacuums.
we have the wet vac one.
Yeah, the canister one. Right.
And yes, we have one official cordless and one corded that's a
Right.
stick. The whole thing is, if you'd have said something about the vacuum, I'd have just chucked it out the window. That's what I'd have done at that point. Wouldn't have been sitting around talking about, oh, well, she's got so much disrespect. And all of a sudden, the vacuum just would have went right past your head. True story. I wouldn't even, I ain't got time for that. I'm too old. My days are too short and long at the same time. I ain't got time for that monkey
Well,
sense.
be glad it got clogged by cleaning versus not cleaning. I mean, it's just weird that he's complaining about it. But
Why didn't
anyway.
he just pay for a house person to begin with? What the hell is wrong
Well,
with this guy?
that's another thing. He's not as well to do as he makes people out.
And I'd have minimally made
One,
the ex-wife.
that's a crappy vacuum.
She's already an employee. Then, if she was going to be around all the time, I'd have
right.
made her do it.
He doesn't have help. I mean, come on. You know how many Westerners I know that have help? And
Well, I'm serious about if the ex-wife is already employed and she's always over at the house and lives nearby and always up in their business, minimally she'd have been doing my dishes or she'd have left.
no, I get that, but what I'm saying is he's still not that well to do, as he lets out he is.
Well enough that he can afford somebody. You don't buy a Louis Vuitton bag in any manner and not have the money for the housekeeper, which I guess people do prioritize using credit cards. And I think he has enough. That is his fault. He should have hired somebody.
No,
He's got enough money.
no, he should have.
Yeah. So he's got enough for
Actually,
a housekeeper.
let's rephrase that. He should have somebody. You know why? I get the house; it's huge. I get it. We don't know how we attained this house, but what I'm saying is, if you have a house like that, you need help.
That, and that's what people have been saying on social media is there, the pop culture thing going around about him is that all he did was sexualize her and he wanted the third world woman in there to control her in every manner. And he also thought he had the housekeeper and the looks and the whole 9 yards. And he did it because there's no way he'd have got an American woman. What he would have got is I'd have beat him with a vacuum and set 3 days in county jail. That's what would have happened. The end without steroids.
Right.
I need more steroids.
Yeah. Like Tony Man says, that guy is a crybaby. That's enough cat fur for a second.
And I had to put it on social media.
Right. Oh, I would have at least assembled a cat. Be creative about it, Don't buy Dyson. They're crap.
Yeah.
Tony Mang says, the Asian lady I had, it's a chrome off a bumper.
There you go. Hey.
Yeah. John Hobbs says Hoover vacuum. Yeah, Louis says never saw a vacuum in the Philippines.
He said, yeah.
What is Ting Ting?
There it is. There it is.
Yeah. What is Ting Ting?
I guess she should be happy that that's not the only thing that she was using. His wife swaps starring Heidi with guest host No Neck Ed. Here's the thing. I thought about some of the stuff he did, and I get he's lazy. Like, when I clean, sometimes I get busy, but I do 5 or 6 different things. It's not like I'm only able to be just a housewife or only just doing things for the channel or, meeting with friends and everything. I do multitask, including Wallace tinging George's parts this morning. And somebody like No Neck Ed, I don't know. I mean, first off, it'd have been the same thing with the vacuum thing, and he wouldn't date somebody like me. Again, too strong of a personality. I mean, I can be a kitten just as much as I can be nasty. I try to balance it. The steroids makes it hard, but hey, you know, trying to be relatable and realistic right now. That's what we should have renamed the other channel is relatable and realistic antics hotline or something. But I should have called it Bling Hotline.
Right.
We're still trying to rename the other channel that exists, but I think I'm going to keep it to American Antics Expat and Drama Hotline.
Right.
I'm on the water on the hotline. So just call me if you guys have a problem.
Laura says Kirby's a brand. He should have bought a Kirby.
Should have bought one of those rainbow vacuums that they had back in the 80s and into the 90s, and the one that had the whole 9 yards, but I don't think the thing really worked at all. Maytag Man. You remember that rainbow
Where's the
group?
Maytag Man?
Yeah.
I got rid of the carpet and enjoy sleeping. There you go. No, I don't remember the rainbow group. That's probably never made it here.
Probably not. But they did sell them
Yeah.
forever, and it used to be the major one for years and years that they go door to door. And the only reason I remember is they used to come through to my mom's house, and I knew down the road they were selling them in Florida. They came around. But they were really expensive back then, and then they tried to put them into payments. And to me, they were a canister back. I think they still even required bags. They had where you could drop the essence oil. So they were ahead of its time for what it was, but it wasn't worth no payments for the unit. And so...
Yeah. What made it to the Philippines are the door-to-door Electrolux salesmen.
That would explain who you are.
And it would go like, I'm gonna knock on your door, ring on your bell, tap on your window too.
Is it anything like...
Yeah.
Ring my
I don't know. That's different. And I've seen a couple, probably more than a couple Electrolux salesmen go in the house.
Do you want me to ring your bell again this morning?
Mm-hmm. And then they throw the dirt on your carpet and then they clean it up. It's called stunt dirt, by the way.
They did that.
There's actually
the
a terminology
was the
for
same. They used to go door to door, try to set up the appointment. They did all this weird stuff, but I also grew up with the encyclopedia salespeople, Britannica and all them. There was another company that sold, they were green and white with gold foil and stuff on it. But now that one my mom did take on. This is pre the internet big time in the 80s, and we got a set for Christmas, and actually those came in handy, although I think my sisters got more out of it. I was more wanting to play outside all day situation type of person, but they utilized it a lot for book reports. And that's when you had to really read and not have everything AI the way they are now. And
yeah, M Doggy Fool says they have good Hoovers here. Jazzy Phobia says, sorry, George Electrolux door-to-door salesman in 80s showed me. Okay. John Hobbs says Hoovers are good for what you pay for.
You want one of these? Or are you drinking coffee?
Jennifer Wilson says my Malibu cottage went up. Hopefully not. I mean,
oh, I did.
But I'm sorry if it did.
I didn't show you. I forgot to tell you. George had those stickers made.
They're clear stickers.
Oh, we can take some to Scott in a few days.
Yeah, they're clear stickers.
Yeah. And
so you can put them anywhere.
Yeah, I guess I could put the other one here, but.
Patricia said, did you see the news in California showed a burnt skeleton?
Yeah, we did.
Report, they didn't notice it.
Yes, we talked about that.
Yeah, that's
earlier.
the big giant block thing that you can't see.
No, of course that made news too. Yeah, so a few people said bring the guy in. Yeah, I think the guy should. I mean, if the guy is in the room and wants to go to philippineantics@gmail.com and come in today, maybe, but I think we need to make a whole thing, and I need to have clips ready and like how I deep dive. So before I'd bring him in today, and really I had to pump the brakes on that because I don't really care the way he's doing it. He really looks like he's trying to start some serious drama. We're not talking about like me starting drama situation. No, he was really questioning the girl that's at stake and some other things. And I get a weird vibe from both sides. Right now, they both get strikes. It's kind of like, there's something really going on. So it's, I don't know, but I still feel there's some juice in it. So and then I'm gonna get a little juice and then go from it. I'm just not gonna let him come in and take over the live stream with us. He said, she said, and he didn't pay me and get me my license situation, and I wouldn't lick this and she wouldn't do that, and he didn't buy me potato chips to go along with my adobo the other day, and I'm done. So I need a little bit more. Yep. You didn't say nothing about my earrings.
Oh, they're pretty. Margaret says, some good information with you guys. Thank you. Laura says, fire is a way of life. Correct. Laura says, next will be mudslides when it comes to rain. When it starts to rain, there you go. Chuck says, this is going off the rail.
They actually called it apocalyptic is what's going on in the United States. And then the kids asked me when I was coming back to visit the U.S. or coming back to live, and I said, never. I said, I got my own thing going on here.
Ted says, David Muir is a reporter for ABC, not CNN. It's Ted.
Yeah, no, I know, but which one of us? Was that somebody else talking?
Probably, yeah. Like Grandpa
gotcha.
says, just like Hawaii, after the California mega bridge will roll in and buy up all the land. Correct.
I don't know if Ted was in my live yesterday. I mentioned SpaghettiOs. So if he's still putting together that Billy buying box, I was talking about you. We were talking about prepping a little bit yesterday in that quick live stream I did yesterday, and I mentioned SpaghettiOs. I was like, there's something for the next Billy buying box. We haven't had SpaghettiOs forever. That was like your lifeline. I was talking about you had like 2-year-old SpaghettiOs in the house. And George was like, it's still good. And I said, we're not taking those to Mexico.
We never did the video of our bug out, but I thought we did. Victor C
Never
says,
official.
I think we did. We did because we recorded it
I
and
thought
everything.
we brought that in, right? But we never remember. We have so many clips we put together and never, like right now, I've got enough to do 5 or 6 other videos.
George, will you make a video about your bug out bag?
I think we did.
Filmed it. I don't know if we released it or not. I thought we did, but
I think we took the camera over literally off of here during a live stream, and you put it on the couch behind us or at the other place.
oh,
No
it's not
official.
not an official.
Yeah. I'll write that down on what we actually put in it. But we were wanting to do the bug out bag and talk about our rental here, how we pay. I don't know what it is. With exchange, I think we're at about $185 a month in rent for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. But rental video was another. It'll probably go on the other channel, by the way, guys. We do some on here. I still think we're going to keep Philippine Antics as the live stream, and maybe some outings like we did, or some expat help, but some of it will possibly start going on the other channel. I haven't figured all that out.
Lou says, Derek did not have anything on paper for employment. I thought Derek was smarter than this.
Well, here's the thing. I know a lot of guys try to pass everything off on their spouse, and it's evident that it's not their spouses. Again, YouTube channel's one thing, but these guys are actually building places, which only means the Filipina truly owns it. And then they're doing things like putting full businesses like resorts into their spouses or girlfriends' names on top of that. And then they lose in the end. And then it's like now it's all being put in public.
Laura says, were rainbows the water tank vacuum?
Might have been. There might have been.
Rainbows use water filtration. Oh, those vacuums. Wow. Yeah, that's really old.
I don't remember the water part of it.
No. Those were actually very good vacuums. Yes.
There was a water filtration?
Yes, there is.
I think back then there was like that ion.
It blows the air or vacuum part, and then the water traps all the dirt. It's a sound theory, yeah. Um Electrolux jingle, but Joe beats would be awesome. Hello all. Hey, Salem Realtor, yeah, right? That would be a very interesting jingle then. Um Jim
That's
says
true.
you will never run out of Philippine drama to talk about.
Well, here's the thing. It's like when it does die down, then we're just back to our regular stuff. We just kind of go where the flow is. It's always been our channel. We're either doing something, funny, which is why we call ourselves Philippine Antics. And if something comes up, we're going to cover it, whether it's drama or not. And being there's so much going on in the expat world, we said that the same as everybody covering pop culture and some of these other things, we're going to cover expats because there's always something going on. So, yes, there's always something. Although there's been times it kind of does die down. Is that it?
Mhm.
I'll go ahead. What you got?
Mhm.
I'm still looking up the vacuum, the history of it. But yeah, there's still some around.
What do you mean? The rainbow?
Hmm.
A lot of the companies now are dying out. I mean,
All right. Yeah, I don't.
yeah. I mean, not even sure. But well, anyway, there's a lot of theories about like Hawaii and like some of you guys. I'm pretty sure it's come up that this is like a land grab kind of deal since it's an intentional burnage, as it were. I mean, I know the word, but I'm trying to avoid to say it.
Yeah,
So yeah, so
that's what they're saying.
correct. According to certain sources, not us. We're just letting you know that um the the fire is allegedly done on purpose. So therefore, now brings the theory of, is this somewhat corporate biased or is it government biased? That kind of deal. There's a lot of talk going on right now.
Hmm.
At least it's not lasers from the sky, as they said. You know what I'm saying? Um, my mom bought Kirby's. They're a rainbow, and then a rainbow. And has a 1950s a working Kirby and hard floors now. Well, actually, that's the newest thing. It's the more well-to-do people. Well, except for him, he's got a carpet on. If you don't have carpets, there's one that vacuums and mops the floor at the same time.
Yeah, that's
That kind of
another thing.
deal.
Why
Yeah.
doesn't he have? You can still get a Roomba, right, for all of that, all of them, carpet, all that.
Oh, the carpet version.
Yeah, minimally, if he's not getting a housekeeper, he could afford those. And that's what Hibiscus Tea was saying. Does a person know high end designer brand name purses? Yeah, I think they do rent those out. I mean, it could have all just been a small item in a big bag, and it could have all been fake for social media for sure. But um,
Oh, could have been fake. There's some really good fakes out there. They're actually here in the Philippines. The best fakes is called a Class A.
it appeared to be an official bag and
Right.
everything, which can be fake too.
Well, a
But
Class
I'm not going to go
A
that far.
is indistinguishable from the original. The only thing missing from a Class A is a bag. It's the tag, the actual tag inside.
And some do.
But yeah, and some do. Correct. You can get Class A counterfeits here for sure. Well, I'm sure if you can get them here, you can get them in the U.S.
Hmm.
Yeah. And usually these counterfeits aren't actually fake. They're actually made in the same company that makes the actual purses. They just, instead of going out the front door, they go in the back door. If that makes any sense to some of you guys. You know what I'm saying? They're usually made in the same factory, except they're not officially made, if that makes any sense. For those of you who know anything about, counterfeits and stuff like that. Yeah. Laura says, I never owned a waterbed. Waterbeds are great.
Oh, sweet. Ted said he's going to get her SpaghettiOs, raviolis, and Kraft macaroni and cheese. Not for you. Sweet. Um,
Well, usually I get Spaghettios if I'm lazy, which I rarely am. Because I always cook. But if I'm lazy, I usually get a can of Spaghettios and then put cheese on it, and then heat it up and let the cheese melt on top, and that's how I eat my Spaghettios.
And there's a couple other stories out there. So I guess beings we're down to the bottom of the comment section, we can cover some of the other news going on. Right now, it will be going into next week. We're going to cover the same situation of the Chad2Dad, how he moved quick with his Filipina, and all this drama. There was another couple. My guess is their social media. I haven't found out if they got YouTube channels. I ate my short if she doesn't have a YouTube channel or at least a TikTok. There was a Filipina unalived recently by a very short-term relationship. She got married, moved out of the country, and so I'm sure already one or two of the other channels already did it because they do news on a daily basis. I know that man doesn't sleep. Even if he's delegating his work, the man cannot sleep. And I will not mention his channel either. But information is put out so quick. I would just rather deep dive a little bit more into it and cover it for you guys. But right here is the timeline. So in less than, it's April to December, and 7 days outside of the country. So they dated. 3 months later, they married, and then a few months later, she arrived in the other country, and the guy had serious issues. Which this guy, that's what it looks like. It just looks like, you know, I don't know. I mean, I get we all got issues, one way or the other, but it's another Filipina that's left the country, and then things happen, abuse, and so it looks like the Philippines is going to go back into a full thing of saying, "Hey, be careful when you leave the country." But the truth is that happens in all countries. I mean, you could leave America, and I could have come over here, and George could have put me in the freezer, as far as people knew. So it's just something all the way around as a person to be aware of people now hooking up almost instantly online where they actually thought that was going. So,
Well, either way, I mean, like I always say, the biggest revealer of truth is time. And getting at is don't move too fast when it comes to relationships. And sorry guys, I mean, knowing somebody online and living with them are two different things too. I mean, hopefully that some of you who've met, your LDRs, and you really don't know somebody until you guys are sleeping under the same roof.
hey, Slick Rick, how are you doing in California? Are you affected by that fire at all? Yeah. Um,
Laura says I'm her cleaner, sweeper, and mopper. Dishwasher, no machines, a Western woman that can use a broom. Oh, sarcasm. Right. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Our Philippine journey in the house. Good morning, all.
Good morning. I just seen. Oh, see that your message didn't show up. Black Grandpa said, "What did I miss on Q?"
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Q and AJ in the news, or I don't know what that says. I'm missing where that is. Wonder why there.
No, I don't see
Wonder
it.
why.
It's not on my screen.
That is weird.
Huh.
Yeah, right there at 9:49. And how come it's
Yeah,
further?
it's not there. Weird. It's not there.
That is weird.
That's weird.
Usually we would.
Sorry, Black Grandpa, I didn't see your message.
Yeah, because on StreamYard, unless he could be, no, it would still be here. I was going to say maybe it's on the other channel, but that doesn't make any sense because you should see all comments from everybody.
Well,
in here.
then obviously it's a glitch.
Hmm.
So what is?
Yeah, he's just asking, what did I miss about Q, the Q&A in the news? I don't know if it means Q's adventure. It is to be seen. it's to be seen what's actually going on. We're going to cover it separate so we can get some more information and try to find out like exactly what's going on with the guy that he hired, what shortcuts he's taken. He claims he's selling the business. There's all kinds of stuff going on. We went through the whole thing about discussing that it seems like he for sure did a bunch of what did you call the type of content he does?
Oh, it's not me who
Besides,
said it. Somebody else said it. Poverty corn.
you said another thing, some sort of exposure or something.
Oh, exploitative.
Oh yeah, it's you know.
Yeah. But also remember, and I mean, I don't know 100% about. I mean, there's a lot of things that we don't know about.
We don't really know. This just came up, and then I wasn't going to spend 3 days,
Like,
day
you
and night,
know,
researching somebody to
the
make 800
businesses,
pesos
the
for the channel.
licensing, the
You guys,
ownership, you know, that kind of deal.
we don't pay people to do the research, and a lot of that takes deep diving and time. And I was not prepared after editing for 2 days one video about our personal life because it required extra clips to actually go in and watch him for the rest of the night till crack of dawn just to cover him. He ain't worth it, and neither is the other guy trying to build his channel. Hugh's Adventure popped up 2 years ago, and I noticed he did this whole thing of going around, on other channels and all of that. He got a boost. He already said he got a boost, and it seemed like everything that he covered was super bad off expats and other things. He collected a bunch of money. Then he started the bike shop, and I've watched him. I'm like, I wonder how he did that. And I kind of went through. I mean, I had an opinion and didn't, but he didn't come on the radar till his employee came through and said he did a bunch of stuff. And of course, the employee started a channel based on it. So that's what made it all in all interesting. So we shall see. And a few people said yes to him coming on, but me and George just get a bad vibe about the Filipino too. I just think he's trying to make a buck too, and
Well, like I
that we
said,
don't know how much he's really telling. But I guess if it's just a discussion and he comes on and says, "Hey, this is what is going on," but I don't,
don't be quick to judge and don't be quick to take sides. All we're saying is, again, from our point
we
of
need
view,
more to be able to look at
like I said, in
everything.
our point of view, his footages and his content is somewhat kind of, yeah,
I
you know
mean,
what I'm saying? But now, again, as far as the allegations are concerned, like I said,
it
if
could just be a Filipino trying to get ahead
right,
based
that's why I
on
said
the expat, and
allegations.
it's
That's
not the
what I
first
said.
time. So,
Allegations. Yeah.
and really, there's no way to know but to let them both come on, or at least try to go through and see, and then make it a group discussion of what people feel, kind of like all the rest of the stuff we've actually, yeah.
Yeah. Tropical Ninja says those damn peach mango pies have a spell and they're very good. They're very, very good. Peach mango
Speaking of which, that's
pies.
what's going on here.
That's Jollibee, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, those are real buko pandan. Those are real.
yeah, them are real.
No, those are heavy. Thick. I
No,
mean,
these
take
are.
a bite.
Yeah, I've never seen them
They're
that
heavy,
thick.
aren't they?
Yeah, they're really
They're
heavy.
from Kuya Victor. I mean Vincent. Sorry, Vincent. See?
Look at the amount of filling in the middle of
No,
those.
it's thick. That is
That is all
thick.
coconut in the middle of
Yeah,
those. You guys ever seen them like
those are
that?
real buko pandan. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm. No, I already had.
Oh,
Those
wow.
are all for yours. Those are real deal, babe.
That's a real deal. How much was that?
He this heavy thing. It's like half a pound, really.
Mm-hmm.
They're really heavy. This is 8 pesos. This is practically a meal.
Mm-hmm.
You, I can probably hurt somebody with this. I'm not joking. It's heavy. It's heavy.
Hmm.
It weighs as much as a burger.
That's sticky and chunky like it was this morning. I can
Ooh,
barely swallow it.
right?
Just for me this morning.
Yep.
And that's what I look like this morning in bed.
Slick Rick says, "Thank you for asking, Heidi." Black Grandpa says, "Did Derek Q mess around with those kids that he had moved in with him further their education.
There was a bunch of
Oh
stuff.
wow, that's one of
There's
the
a
accusations.
no. There is a bunch of accusations that he promised to build some girl's house. Now he's going to stop because of this stuff going on. He's collected money, but he hasn't followed through with some of the things. There's a lot of accusations. I just didn't want to go that far. There's a bunch of it.
Right.
So if any of it's got any.
Now, yes, Lou, I completely agree with you. If this is about justice, why not go to the authorities? Why go to YouTube? I completely agree with you. This is something that needs something. If this is true, it needs swift justice. Not
Sunshine told him to get on air and tell people, but I don't know.
no, not talking about him. Talking about the other guy. If it was true, if these allegations are true, why is he putting it out there rather than going to the cops?
Because I think they're all petty and minor, and I think he's trying to build a channel. If Q did all that, then he needs to hit hard. He needs to contact the SWD, but you physically have to
That's
go
why I
there.
said if.
You have to go to the tax people. You got to
If.
go to immigration. He's got to do the legwork. Instead, he's been busy making 4 kids. Sorry, guys, I still got this. Busy making 4 kids and doing his thing, and now he's trying to build his channel on it.
Right, which again is questionable. What I'm saying is he has obviously an ulterior motive. So if somebody has an ulterior motive, then you have to question things.
This is really good.
Oh, yeah, try the donut. Donuts here, the Philippine donuts are not round; they're just sticks with sugar on them. But anyway,
You know what? I'm going to make you fried chicken today.
Huh?
You know what fried chicken?
Fried chicken.
Yeah.
That's like me asking for McDonald's and you're gonna cook me a burger. I'm joking. I'm joking. Remember Eddie Murphy? I want McDonald's.
That was me. That
McDonald's? Here's your McDonald's.
That'd have been
There
my.
ain't no McDonald's. There ain't no McDonald's.
Here's the thing. You probably didn't experience that, but I did. Your mom probably took you to Jollibee's. Here, that was my mom.
Actually,
we got
no,
to go
my
like
mom-
every couple years ourselves growing up as kids. My mom
No,
didn't do a lot of sugar.
my mom took
She
me to
did.
McDonald's, and I saw Ronald McDonald a lot when he existed.
For me, that's what my mom did. I'm gonna make hamburgers, and it's like they have green peppers in McDonald's.
There ain't no McDonald's.
And the ketchup and the square bread and all that. No, that's just the way it was.
Salem says a fleet of
Relatable.
30 scooters business for sale at 20 million pesos is quite too much. That's the only question I have on Q. The personal allegation, I'm split about it.
I think a lot of people are, but when he was asked about the profits, I hate to say it, and I'm just going to say it seems shady to some people. His response on the profits, and Sunshine questioned him. He goes, I'm not asking that. He got down to the nitty gritty on asking a question, but he would not answer what the monthly profits. When it came to the monthly profits, he said an amount. Then he came back and said a whole nother amount. And then he said, that's still pre-taxes. And I'm still thinking, that sure seems like a lot. I mean, to make thousands of US dollars a month on scooters, that just doesn't seem... you would believe that many would generate that kind of money per month?
Okay, remember everything's on paper.
30
Our Philippine
scooters.
journey says the realtors, he said, is netting 400K a month even after house expenses, and he said he's asking 5 times the earnings, and the business is debt free.
Mhm.
Just saying what he claims. Again, remember that's what Q claims. So I mean, because that's how you sell a business. You get your portfolio out, you get the earnings, and then yeah.
Right. So he's selling it for 5 times more. Is that normal to sell a business that much higher because he says it's got a 5-star rating? That can be created. That doesn't mean
Correct.
a lot.
No. I agree with you. I agree with you.
Uh.
That's why Mike says that's what he claims. That's what he claims.
Them are really good, by the way.
Yeah.
I can't stop. I mean,
No, they're really good. Those are the real deal.
Mm.
Um,
I mean, I've been getting these tiny things with just a little bit of filling.
and you were happy. now,
Mhm.
now you get the real bulletin. Okay,
Nice.
so Porsche says, good morning, people. Graham Cross says 8 pesos. That's a bargain.
Okay.
Mike says 8 pesos, a great deal. Yeah, no, it is. It is
So
a great deal.
right now, he's claiming he's making $7,000 a month for renting out that kind of scooter business, and that's after the expenses. No way.
Hold on.
7,000 a month.
Wait. Hold on. Let's go.
So then, what you take that divided by how many scooters he's got a month, right? How many scooters did he have? 30. So that means he'd have to rent each month each scooter for 233 in that area. He'd have to rent each one out by the month or by the day. And that's I don't know. I'm not buying that. That he rents every single one out every day. 7, and then you're going to sell it. And then when he was asked why he was going to sell it, oh, it's because I like to start businesses, make them 5-star. It's what I do, and I want to start another one. That's what he said. You don't sell if it's that easy and that nice.
Successful, you wouldn't sell it.
Not $7,000 a month.
No, if it's that successful, you're not going to sell it.
That's successful in the Philippines.
Yeah. Porsche says we have McDonald's at home. Hey, McDonald's. Our Philippine journey
we
says
still got the container. Did he give you the container too for that price? So you only paid 16 pesos for both of them in this container?
Yeah. Our Philippine journey says there are actually businesses that sell as high as 11 times the earnings, some even higher. No, well, I don't disagree with that one. Yeah, the business brokers would be better to cover that.
No, if it's
I
get certain businesses, I get it, but the
Well,
man just started
actually,
it, and
the rental it's insane on paper. Keyword on paper it can generate more on paper.
I just can't see paying a man
Well, like I
that
said,
kind
on
of
paper.
money to take on scooters, which who knows where they're at as far as maintenance. And
The real question is the books. You have to have the books in order to analyze it, and there's proof, because if it's a real business, keyword, if it's a real business, you would have receipts of every single transaction.
I don't know. That's a passing hard no on that.
That's another thing. If a business does not give you receipts in the Philippines, then that's illegal. Anyway.
Yeah, he said 500,000.
Yeah. Mark Richards says, I thought he said 10,000 a month. Crazy stuff.
No,
JD says, yep, he says 500,000 pesos a month revenue.
I'm kind of hoping he'll make his move in the next couple days. Here's my thing. They made it too clear that this wasn't a setup interview. I love you, Calvin, but just by saying that this wasn't a setup, we had made these plans to get together way before this all started, sounded odd to a lot of people. Okay. And then secondly, he's got a meet and greet coming up. So the guy will be there for his meet and greet, looks like. So it's almost like the guy Q came up for maybe the meet and greet, possibly, is, what's being said. And there's just a lot going on. I mean, he's literally got a meet and greet like tomorrow or something. And here's Q just doing his interview with them. My guess is he's there for because I think he has shown up at several of the meet and greet. So
yeah, DJ says,
hey, what if that other guy shows up at the meet and greet?
Oh. Anyway, DJ says my Honda ADV 160 is 13,000 a month. My Honda Click is 6,000 to 7,000 a month. Summer rentals. Yeah, definitely. Our Philippine
Okay, so that's 100 a month though. But right now, the profit thing he's showing now is 200. It'd have to be 213 a month. That'd be double the amount. It just doesn't seem realistic. I don't know. Something's way off, and
it can, but remember location, and competition, and all that. Like I said,
I don't know.
it can generate more. It has a potential to generate more for sure.
It's just
But like I said, it's all in the books. Our Philippine
It's all
Journal
in the
says,
books.
I have no idea how a scooter business works, but it seems a lot of maintenance for sure.
Mhm.
And when it comes to the books, I'm talking about the old receipts, old receipt books and ledgers. The reason why this is very important is because you can't lie on the ledgers unless you can lie on the ledgers to make less, but then when you sell the business, as right now,
But there's really no
you can't
true
sell it.
client list to go with it. There is nothing really. If you're going to invest that kind of money, I'd rather start out with 15 bikes and buy brand new ones and start my own. His 5-star review thing goes right out the
He's
window.
selling the establishment. It's already established.
I pass on that. I mean,
Well, like I
it
said,
doesn't mean the same people are going to come back. That's what I'm
it's
saying.
all about the books. If
That's what I said. There's no real client list. Establish what?
I'm not talking about the client list, I'm talking about books here, and I'm talking about location.
That's not what he's selling. And that's another thing is they're going to have to possibly move it. It doesn't mean somebody's going to move there in that house.
No. Okay, you don't
There's
have
a
to have
lot
a
going
client
on.
list when it comes to a car rental because Filipinos say, do you know where I can rent a bike? Yeah, man, there's one right. Just go down this street, it's right there.
Oh, yeah. You keep being awesome. Yeah. Okay.
But like I said, the thing is, it's you have to look at his books, and the reason why this is key is because one, if he lied on the books that he makes less, the reason why you would lie on your books to make less because you don't want to pay taxes, he can't sell it for more. Get it?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a catch-22 on the books.
Well,
If he altered them,
things
if
were
he altered the old books to look bigger, then he has to pay more taxes. So it's really beneficial not to lie about the books in the first place. Well, you shouldn't. It's illegal anyway. But you get the picture.
let's see. We got some comments going on.
White Samurai says, I thought the question was, what are the profits? And the answer was given in terms of sales. He claims business is profitable, but his ex-employees were saying he didn't even pay minimum wages. I kind of
So they're saying one of the claims is, and this is on Sunshine's channel. I'm going through the comments. So they're saying, what's the big deal? So Q wanted a threesome, is what they're saying, and that the woman had the right to say no. So what's the big deal? And you're right. Whatever you freaky deaky with, pepper oil and pepper spray and eggs and all that is on you guys. I get it. Because believe me, there's some freaky deeks in here in this country that these expats come in. They're all over Reddit setting up hot dates with foursomes. So I get it. That wouldn't be the issue. Yes, they're consenting adults, either a no or no. But I haven't sat through it in the entire what's been going on. 551,466 AUD. Is that Australian? For 30 used bikes. He's effing tripping on that. Those used bikes aren't even worth a quarter of it. Yeah, he's had them for a while. That's what I'm saying. I don't get and that's if I don't know. That just doesn't seem, it seems high. Saying each bike was 2,500 new. That's 75 grand. This is somebody saying this. I don't see any value in that. Calvin responded that his math was off. Let's see, but that's just people in there commenting. Philippines is extremely overrated. The average woman would expect you to care for their family, can't even own land, can't own any businesses. It's crap food, scams galore, crappy infrastructure, very few rights for foreigners. And then among everything else, they're the worst gossipers. Yeah, and then add in the toxic expats that, just makes it an all around, situation. But hey, I like the cheap rent and I like George, so I'll stay. Looks like they're asking him to cover that woman, which we'll cover it later this week too. I'm not going to cover it today. He said he had 100,000 peso profit a month. So yeah, so think about it. So how long will it take to get back your money? So if you're making 100,000, you pay 20 million. That's another thing. You pay 20 million, you're only making 100,000. This person says, so in 20 years you'll make a profit, give or take. Yeah, $1 million a year. That's almost $1 million. I mean, it's right. It would take 20 years to get your money back for a bike. So you have to keep those bikes going for 20. The whole thing is it's a crap deal. I get businesses being sold, but the fact that he thought he could arrive at Sunshine's and talk about his business, and he's talked about selling it on his own channel, yeah, it would take 20 freaking years. Them bikes, the wheels have done fall off 100 times over. There's just no way. There's just no way.
Well, our Philippine journey says, yes, you're right. You can, but the price of 30 brand new N Maxes is for 5 million, 5.5 million.
Yeah. So you would still have that kind of money, get your own rental and do it in your own city and start with your own. Him proclaiming he's a good business guy and he gets businesses going. And the thing that I can see about Q's adventures is he's big time a self-proclaimer of how well he does with these type of things, and how, like, when you listen to him on some of the stories, how much he does. Like, I do this and that, and it's stuff that should be done in private. He shouldn't be doing all that stuff out in the public that he's helping people. We said that before. On the occasion is okay, on the occasion, but the stuff he does really should, if he's really trying to help, he would do it all in quiet. So, I just thought about that. Yeah, 20 years to make back your money. Nobody's whoever buys that is, I don't know, 5 times the net. Somebody question why would, No, he said it was 100,000 after all the taxes and expenses or something, because you start changing the numbers. But again, I didn't sit all the way through to the end either. So no, I get what you're saying. What I'm saying is at that amount.
If he's changing the numbers, then that's a different story.
Yeah, I don't think it was correct. Didn't that amount change, guys, from 500,000 to another amount? Let me see. Calvin probably broke it down because he responded to quite a few of them.
Hector Gubat says Philippine small business keep multiple sets of books. Correct. One for BIR, one for the city business license division, and another owner for the potential buyers. Technically, legally, you're only required to do the first two. The third one, yes, is for you. Correct. No, we do have books. Correct.
Ledgers that are registered with
yes,
because of the YouTube channel and taxes and running the business.
Correct.
So, which is required by expats that are doing it and Filipinos.
Okay, so Hector Gubat says this is also what I said. Well, not in these words. Hector Gubat says you have colorum books to show officials, and it's always under report. Okay, colorum means it's the, I guess, for a better word, is it unofficial? I guess is the best word for colorum.
And here's another.
Or illegal.
I don't trust anybody that smiles this much all the time. Look at this guy. He never stops. Come on. Who actually sits around? You guys would get creeped out if I did that.
Well, you look better smiling.
Anybody creeped out yet?
DM says, but I just
Like you
realized
smile all the time.
how much California representation is behind you on the wall. Michael J. Fox, Keanu Reeves, uh, the Celine's Titanic song. That's funny. That's very good connecting that. Yes.
He's a serial entrepreneur, he called himself. A serial entrepreneur.
Well, that makes sense actually. Most entrepreneurs are serial entrepreneurs. Um, Salem the Realtor says, "What if the fleet age? Has that been considered?" There it is. White Samurai says the guys at Envy are trying to sell their business. Some with Eclipse Disco, serial entrepreneurs. There you go. Chibiwa says he agrees with you. Actually, Heidi, I do agree. Just start your own bike business.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any. I mean, I get the guy's hustle and everything, but now he's really drawing some serious heat now. It just seems kind of out there. And then he's an expat on top of that. So I would hope if he's doing all this. But here's the thing, you'd be surprised how many YouTubers, like for real, put a lot of this stuff out. We're not talking about like simple things. We're talking about like something like this, and they're not even licensed. They're not, and they're just doing it in front of everybody. And we've told you got to be careful because here you are, you got a Filipino guy trying to take him down, and he might be able to start to do that. So it's always going to be that type of issue.
Like Grandpa says, my question is, why is he selling his business in the first place after building up his money printing machine when most expats fail at business? Sounds suspect. No, that I agree in. Again, if it generates
I'm
this
curious where
much
it got all the
revenue,
money.
why are you getting rid of it?
Right. Or
It's
as
ve-
they said,
it's
he's
sus.
been collecting money based on these last few guys, which were very big numbers for him. And when you get a story like that, it's kind of like old dog new trick. The money come flowing in. There were problems with John himself. It brings other legal issues, the DSWD and tax people, and everybody was probably sick on his case in the end. He said never again, but here's Q doing it over and over again with multiple expats. And I get the helping out, but he could have done it all off air, but he did it to collect the money. And I think it's a different level. It's not like Banana Man down there that shows the poverty of the kids and he feeds them twice a day and he really needs the food.
He barely has any footage, really. Barely.
Right. He usually does.
Considering
on Facebook.
he's there, like, what, 3 times a day?
Twice.
Twice a day? Every day?
Mhm.
Rain or shine? No. This guy's there. Does he have footage? Yes, barely. When we were saying
that would be the reason I can see it being done. But here's the thing: he has all of that. He's got his permits on the actual bike that he takes down there. He's doing everything.
No. I know, and like I said, you can tell he's not doing it for views or anything like that.
All right,
That's
so
what I'm
it
getting at.
says here 400,000, but then here in a minute he'll change. I know he changed the amount. So he said 400,000 after. So then 20 million is what he's asking. He said, how much is it bringing in? Sunshine has to ask him several times, and he really doesn't answer correctly. Expenses, stuff like that, 400,000, about 400,000. Expenses after, yeah, so return on the investment in 4 or 5 years. That would make sense. I thought, but let's see, he does give another amount again. When he asks him, he doesn't want to answer it. Including the rent out of the residency, blah, blah, blah. We calculate the business expenses. Okay, well, that's good. Just so you and I, any investors, American investor. Oh, snap. That's right. There's somebody that owns it also. He's not the full owner of the business. It says it right here. Is there any other investors? He said, yes, there is. We forgot about that.
Okay. It has to be because one, technically, he couldn't have the business 100%, could he?
No. On a monthly basis, yeah, it says right here, was there another investor? He says, yes, there's an American investor on it. So I take it he has to pay him after the fact. So I guess it doesn't come up, I guess at that point. So there is a current owner alongside with him, allegedly.
Well, that would clarify more on the 20 million then, because that would probably mean that's how much he needs to break even.
You have any more investors? We have one. He's an American investor. So there it is. Yeah. And I'm sure some of the money he's been collecting could possibly be part of it. So there is another person. But I could have sworn he mentioned another amount besides the 400,000. When he was asked again in the end, there was another amount. So that's why I thought it was the other one. But still, 5 years? Them bikes will be toast by then. Them bikes will be toast in 5 years.
Depends on me.
Hey, what'd I say? You better not chew that up. That's all I
JD
gotta
says
say.
the former work. Now here's the problem too. JD says the former worker is doing basic extortion operation against Q. If Q doesn't pay him just money to stop, he'll try to put some kind of charges against him.
Yeah, he said allegations.
Yeah.
The guy's lobbying against
So
you.
it's
They're pretty
basically
serious.
like blackmail, basically.
That's the way I'm kind of looking at it right now. Is that, I mean, like I said, if Q's a super freaky deek and all that, and his wife and them want to do all that, I do fully feel that even if there was a house full of ladyboys with them, that type of stuff wouldn't shake us as far as coming up off of that. But I haven't listened on what the other accusations are. Now, him not getting him a license and not paying taxes, all these little things could affect him, and could that be why he's trying to sell currently
I
now?
think
Because
that's
this has been going
more
on. I think about a
probably the
month.
issue.
Yeah.
I really don't think like I said,
I think he's trying to get rid of it before all of the everything is found out about.
yeah, before the authorities swoop in per se. But remember, this is just,
Yeah.
we're just pondering the possibilities rather. Salem says, "Oh no, Q will be mad for discussing and analyzing his business for sale."
Oh, who cares? To be honest, I mean, this is all out in public, so
JD says he needs to leave the area.
I mean, he just
Maybe
appeared
the
on
girl with
Sunshine Shoulders.
allegations.
What did he think?
So trying to cash out the business instead of just selling the bikes.
And if that hurts him, he needs to take his butt back somewhere else. That is for sure. I mean, you just appeared to be confronted by Sunshine, and you're not out there shutting down any accusations. And you're the one that went through that, and you exposed two little frail old men, and you're worried about that? I got a few choice words for that. I doubt it.
Graham says, yes, also renting scooters depreciate a lot faster than a single user. You would also be paying a lot with insurance as well. White Samurai says Heidi makes me laugh.
You're always going to get defenders of just the Filipinos or just like Q. And did he do a lot of good help? He said he did a lot of good help. I don't know if he followed through. Understand, scamming Filipinos or using Filipinos for major profit as a YouTuber has been going on forever, guys. Several channels have used a person situation like that. They've got a ton of views, a ton of money. And just based on his views on some of them, if they're mostly American, he could have made hundreds and hundreds of US dollars on each one of those videos. And then he's got where people are sending him money because they feel bad for it. In the end, he could have been making thousands and thousands on each one of them. And for me, that is really bad business. Those type of people I don't like. And I think when Paul did John, I think he learned from that. and that was his one deal, but I couldn't see even going that far. He did continue to do video after video after video. And although we've covered people video after video after video, I think we made 20 or 30 bucks on some of them situations total. We're not getting rich, and we don't sit there and say, hey, here's my PayPal link, and you guys can help pay for Mark's funeral funds. You can pay for George's funeral funds, but I mean, we don't, there's just no way. It's bad business.
JD says maybe Q
doesn't
set up
look good.
Calvin with one of the local girl there in return for a positive video.
I thought the whole speech of he was just in town or we set this up was repeated.
I take that deal.
You take any deal.
True story.
Look at your dog trying to be good. Look at her play here. Look. So the deal is the mic covers on the floor, right? I already yelled or yepped at her to leave it alone. So she's slow playing it. Look at her. She's thinking about it. And she goes near the mic cover and she gets ready to touch it, right?
Why is it down there?
It fell off the table. I see you being a good girl. You want to come see? Here, come see. Come up here. Ready?
Chippy Wiss says, plus he lets people take the scooters anywhere. Conditions are questionable.
Oh, boy.
Working for nothing.
Money for nothing.
That guy creeps me out.
And my chicks for free. Oh, she wants a kiss. She really did stop. She did. Dad, the poop pills work.
No, I'm not buying it.
Please.
I'm not buying it. No.
Please.
No. It's a trap.
Guys.
It's a trap.
No, it's not a trap. Tell George to kiss the dog. Kiss the pooch.
It's a trap.
Red. Kiss the pooch.
It's a trap. Might as well. I might as well. JD says, wouldn't some renters just steal the scooter and never return? It's not such an easy business.
You could just snatch parts off of there. It would be really crazy because some of the rental places don't even ask for big deposits or credit cards or nothing here. It's kind of, I just can't see it. Mm-hmm. Hey, Q-tip.
JD says, I wouldn't give my passport over to anyone to rent a bike. No damn way.
Yeah, that is another requirement is your passport. And yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. I'm getting ready to go in and complete the second half of the 13A. And I have to leave my passport for a while. And I'm like, what if there's a wildfire? Think about it. We thought about that the last time. I was like, what if something happens? Like they keep it in a safe. What if someone would have broke into that mall area and actually, because they're not locked behind immigration. They could have got our paperwork and stuff. It would have been pretty scary.
Yeah.
So, some of the places that hold your passports, that's scary, any of them.
No, it is. Black Grandpa says Q's business
But I guess you were
would be a good business to have if you wanted to laundry money. There you go. JD says those bikes will probably last 2 to 3 years until they're worthless after getting beat up on rentals.
I don't know.
DM says BS books might generate revenue, but not that much. He's probably doing it like you said, liquidation to spill. Oh, Dodge.
No,
to split out of Dodge. Yeah.
Yeah. So even if it is on the
I
up
reckon
and
to
up,
avoid legal
this
problems.
guy
Yeah.
could still. And here's the thing: we've been telling you guys, people can tie you up in court for a while, and that's what's going to happen here in the Philippines. You either pay out regardless of the claims, or you just. That's all I can say. Is just like that other guy we were talking about. I was like, there's no way with all that crap going on with him and the fighting out in the province and all of that. In the end, even if you're innocent, you're still going to pay and have to walk away. It's really a tough deal when you're in somebody else's country. And looking at me and George when we entered Mexico, when I added a Mexico clip into that recent video, we really sat at the border and hesitated. Even George said, we're scared because we're both entering as foreigners into a country we had never been into. And it was Mexico, and they were closed down, by the way. The only reason we got in is we had press media badges, and we were at that time, very few YouTubers that were vlogging in there at the time on that area, and they let us in. You know, it took 20 months to reopen Mexico, so we were just lucky they let us in. We were like only 2 people at the border, and they brought drug dogs in. It was a trip. But we were nervous as crap. But the whole thing is once you enter a country, a lot of your rights disappear. And here I feel like a lot of them have dropped away, because if the crap these guys pull with me, if they would do it to me in person, I would just sit up in jail for 3 days. I would deal with them appropriately. But somehow they know they get away with something here. And they do. They think it is the Wild Wild West. But my deal is I think that Q will get tied up with this Filipino.
Maybe Q's a chef
Why is that?
because he's really good at cooking the books.
Oh. Could be what you were saying. Every time I pick that puppy up, it's
JD says maybe Barry Jordan will be released and become motorcycle king if he gets enough donations.
oh boy.
Now, this is something I did question. I mean, again, remember, I always play devil's advocate and I always try to stay positive. However, this is something true. JD says starts small bike business with 5 bikes to see even if it works.
That's
Why
another
are there
thing.
so many motorcycles?
Well, I was gonna say, isn't there a crap load of motorcycle shops anyways?
Yeah, but even people who sell these things don't have that much inventory.
Well, all I know is there's really something going on. That's why we're actually going to be covering it this up and coming week. You notice I got like this 80s thing going on here. I'm back to my mullet, and I kind of look like a Duran Duran album cover right now. Her name is Rio, and she no.
You look like MacGyver on steroids. Where's your bubble gum?
Don't get me going on what you look like. You look like
Dr. Jones! Dr. Jones!
you look like the inside of Dr. Jones's butt. Now stop.
Oh, probably.
Well, it's a little brown now, isn't it?
Yep. Hector Gubat says the loan from the American
Hey,
investor is due.
don't touch
The
it.
investor name is Guido Petrocelli. Right. There you go.
Guido. Hey,
Um,
we got a business for sale.
right.
We got a couple businesses for sale.
Yep.
I got a pet moss business. I sell pet mosses out front of the house at the market. I sell these little fuzz balls outside, and I sell bacon candles, all kinds of things. We can sell that business, and we want 50 million pesos for that.
Mhm. I sell pet shit with sprinkles.
Okay, are we done here?
All right.
Because
So
I'm done with you, and I'm not going any longer. You weren't even supposed to be here. This was supposed to be the Heidi and Heidi show today.
oh,
I clearly
sorry.
stated me, and you. I don't know what happened. He got some sleep last night. I was like, dang.
Still the realtor says
When the Georgia
taxi
Heidi was
business in the Philippines leases a fleet and replace them every few years.
Ugh.
It's not
I have to
wise
stop picking
to
her up.
outright own a rental bike fleet that ages. Just
Good
saying.
girl.
Black Grandpa says maybe Q is part of Pogo. There you go.
I was gonna say that, but I kept quiet. He looks like part of Pogo.
Black Grandpa says the American investor isn't American. He's Chinese.
No, nobody is gonna blame me for being part of the Pogo. But Q, on the other hand, he actually fits in. Somebody asked me about you in Mexico. Did people think you were Mexican? I said, you fit in where you get in. I stand out like the white Easter bunny Godzilla in this country.
Yeah.
You could fit in, and definitely Q fits in. And
DJ says they only need a picture of your passport. They don't need the passport.
they took mine. Oh, are you talking about
No,
for the
for
rental?
the rental,
Oh,
for
okay.
the
So
rental,
they took
for the
mine
rental.
for the last process. Gotcha. That would be true.
Yeah.
Can you bring? What is it? What is that?
Okay.
energy-
Well, Lou
feed-
says, George, is this a lesson not to help improve any Filipino? Looks like Derek's business challenge. No, we didn't say anything bad. We just question it like any sane person would. That would. I mean, he
George,
put
is
it out.
this a lesson too?
He put it out on YouTube with
I wouldn't explain it to Lou. He was all ready to
well
go
with
for the
weird
show this morning.
numbers. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. I was reading it all the way. You don't have to put it back up. Because we're always saying that it is, but it doesn't have to be either. This channel never proclaimed that everything was a lesson, and there is a lesson.
Well, actually, it is. I
There's
said make
major
sure you
lesson.
have all your I's dots and T's crossed.
And
Make
don't
sure you have
hire
your-
a Filipino that isn't legit if you're not that
Yeah, we
business
did
or
say
something
that
went
from the
wrong.
start. You have to make sure that you have all your paperwork. Paperwork. Guys, you guys think we're kidding when we say you have to pay your taxes on YouTube? You have to do this. You have to do this. No, we actually do that.
And Derek could have ruined his own business. Like it always
He's the one
comes up
who
that
says these stuff.
Right, but the whole thing is like
YouTube.
Mark Thornton. It's like, oh, you guys are tarnishing his name now. It's like he already did that a long time ago with his actions. It's like anything we talk about, you guys act like we're the ones, not you specifically, Lou, just people in general. It's like it's funny how it's like, yeah, no, it didn't start with us, unless it literally started with us situation.
No, we
But
don't make things up.
I seen
No.
this guy that does the pop culture. I keep seeing it over and over again, and he's like, "Hey, don't shoot the messenger because you guys act like I'm the one
Correct.
that put
See,
Ariana Grande stuff
that's
out.
the
You guys
thing.
are throwing tons of
We're
shade
not the
on
ones
me
who
and
dig up this
hate
stuff. We're just
It's already popular in the expat forums and topics, and we kind of
specifically
wait.
Q's the one who put out most of the stuff.
He's been doing it. He's now just getting caught with different things.
Just like
So
Mark Thornton, he's the one who put out the stuff. We didn't put
here's
it
the
out.
thing. Well, I might put on a little extra on top of what's going on, but in this case, right now, it looks like they're both having issues. So, him doing all the poverty stuff in front of everybody, collecting money, I would almost eat my shorts if he has all the licensing for that. It could be. He might have applied for every permit and did everything. That's fine. Then he shouldn't have anything to worry about that this guy's going to turn him in. It's a topic of discussion.
Well, see, that's
Did he have all
the
the
point.
tax
That's
stuff?
the
Did
point.
he have
If-
his licensing and
If everything was legit, then he has nothing to worry about.
because here's another thing, the YouTube's a different licensing. That's an online situation of him having that channel, and him saying it belongs in the United States doesn't save him from paying taxes. There's all kinds of stuff that could be going wrong with him. So
Yeah.
And the same with the other guy. Maybe he is making all that up, but I would be dealing with all that very quickly.
Yeah,
And he's still on YouTube. He could have just lived his life off of it. He decided to stay on it. We keep saying that. If his business and tarnished in his channel, he's technically done it to himself. What if he really was underpaying this guy and promised him stuff and had him live there and all this stuff was happening? Something's not kosher for sure.
Scott in Isaac's World says, don't forget the rabbits and donut business. There you go.
The rabbit. Scott says he's been over at Cafe Benny. When he put that video out, he left a comment this morning. Yeah, so he'd already been there. I was going to make that offer him to come over and check that out too, but I'm looking forward to going to Candy Palace, so I'm ready to eat some of that. Anyway, some of that.
Thaddeus says used to rent from Rick's Cafe on Fields Avenue, now long gone. Copy of all passport was all required.
Okay, so copies.
Yeah. Chibiwish says most people don't even know how to drive. No, this is true.
Which is even scarier to put anybody on. A lot of these guys you see on Facebook or YouTube, these guys have never rode anything like that.
Driving a motorcycle, driving a scooter, driving a tricycle, driving a bicycle are three different things. They're similar, but it doesn't mean you know how to drive one necessarily. Some can adopt faster than others, some cannot adopt at all. So just remember that.
You want to play a shot game today and play Monopoly? Huh? What do you mean, huh? Do got plans. Every time I pick that freaking dog up, it's like for somebody that has such sensitive skin and my allergies and everything else with all these pets, I'm about ready to go nuts.
Yeah, I wonder about that too. Hector Guba, what are the odds of that Canadian and that Philippine life will sell his business soon?
Probably pretty quick, because I was just talking about him. It's getting pretty close to doing something on him. I haven't put my finger on it, but he went from married to business partners to I'm doing he said he was even going to do a bunch of vlogging, and he was going to do it like a reality TV. I see that he's still doing vlogging, But now he's saying he's buying a farm and going to buy some land. Now, could that have all been clickbait and did I even watch it? No, but that's what the video and the topic was. So is that really what's going on? I'd be interested.
Now this is a
Hey,
good
see you
point
later,
too.
Mike.
Bye, Mike. Now
Bye, Mike.
this is a good point too. Chippy Wiz says, if you're making so much on your business, why are you on YouTube? Nothing but problems. This is true.
I want to know what type of visa is he married to that woman. All these things I don't know. Again, this is going to take me days. And I got to be like seriously invested like this Chad2Dad because again, we don't get paid enough. We do it really for you guys and because of my own interest and boredom. But I don't want to sit around and watch Q. To me, we've tried. Now, be honest. I want you to be totally honest. You started to watch Q. What did you say when he was covering Ken? Some of his topic was dry, like
Well,
Mark.
I thought it wasn't right for a lot of reasons.
Well, but when he talks, some of his, I just couldn't. It's one of those, you either got to be like like something, I don't care if your English is way off or if your, pronunciations or if it's not articulated right. I've got to have something these days to actually grab my attention. And it's just so drawn out in his interviews. I just feel like it was like sitting through Elliot Eastman stuff. Everybody has their own preference of who they watch. They can stand some things about us and not others and different factors, but I just can't do it. So it's going to take time and effort. It really is. But it looks like it's going to be the next and upcoming story. Dang you, Sunshine, for having them on there because now it's piqued even more people's interest, which is true. We always wait. You guys have no idea how we kind of wait and wait and wait. And it's not like we're going to make a ton of money. I'm waiting to see how the story progresses. We used to jump on top of stories, but now we do kind of, and here it is. I bet you Q here in a few days will put one out. So it may be that long. So
Ken Cade says, George and Heidi, love the topics. Love the channel, always interesting. Keep up the good work. Thanks so much, Ken Cade.
Thank you.
I'm
not going to sit through his
Thaddeus
comments.
says, would never ride there again nowadays. Foreign guy at Target, right? Oh, yeah, especially when you ride a motorcycle or a bike or scooter, whatever, you're open. The most common thing is when you're like sitting at a stoplight, somebody would ride up behind you on tandem, and then they back ride you, which means they ride on your back, and then they point something pointy on your back, and then they basically can bike jack you that way, like, give me your to get off the bike or else, that kind of deal. Very common thing. So
all right, let's wrap this show up.
Yeah, not to mention they have been an expat that have been, but anyway.
Anyways, goodbye. Thanks for coming by. And I gotta watch my Saturday morning cartoons and play some Monopoly and drink some rum and cook some food and get off my channel. Bye.
We have to feed the moss, and we are selling the moss business for 20 million pesos.
No way I'm gonna lose money. No. 80 million pesos. Them are Japanese, okay, that have been raised in a tank that the surface at the bottom is made of not only pearl, but platinum. Okay. And when these moss balls came up, some of them have the yellow hair, like 420, where they have the yellow hair running through the green and everything, and they're a special type of 420. It's the same with these moss balls. They're special. Really special breed. And I couldn't let it go for less than that. And I have the pet rocks that are down there growing too. So, anyways, guys, we appreciate you guys dropping in. And so might be some in between live streams.
Lou says 20 million pesos only if George is included.
Take him. Or maybe he'll include me, guys.
There you go.
And then you guys can rent me out as a wife to teach your wife something. Think about it. That would just be genius. She thinks she's got it so bad and blah, blah. Bring me in. Or if he thinks he's got it that bad, actually, it'd be more for the Filipino, right? She would want me to come in and teach the guys the lesson. or they can hire me to teach them how to do stuff,
Actually,
or to give them attitude.
that's not a bad idea. I could always.
Attitude American wife for rent. Like, you know how they do the rented girlfriend
I
thing?
know.
You could put a sign right out there and say, just like they say, rent a family, say rent an attitude American woman.
Heidi does suck the chrome out of a bumper. True story.
No, I'm not doing that. I give attitude. I'm not giving H.
What?
No, I said I would give attitude. I didn't say I would give altitude.
Oh, man.
Anyways, guys, be sure to like, subscribe, and sign up for the membership. I asked you guys to do that the other day, yesterday, and look, not one of you. Like $2.25 is bottom to get in to see 70 videos and different things and just be a part of the Antics crew. Not one of you suckers signed up. Then just keep on. Don't be a part
Yeah,
of it.
at least donate $20 so we can feed our moss.
Boy, we're really getting bad at
Our
this.
moss balls.
Okay, so.
Yeah. All right. So, well, or just feed my balls. But anyway, hey. Hey, second win. Bye, second win.
Nobody loves
Click
it.
it. See you later, George and Heidi.
Bye, guys.
Black Grandpa says if Q was successful in business in America, he wouldn't need to open a business in the Philippines.
He says he likes to start him, and he's a serial.
Already have
and
capital to help poor.
He said next he's getting a
true
resort in
philanthropist.
Bohol. I'd be curious. Is he married to that woman? Can you guys at least give me a head start on that one? Is he, or isn't that just his girlfriend? So to open a resort would be a whole different level. Is he here on a business visa? Did he really pay 10,000 US to enter the country? Because that doesn't look like the way he came into this country. He doesn't exactly scream of rentals of money and items of money. So, I mean, that takes a lot to get that business visa. So I'm curious how he actually did that. So, hey, Curtis.
White Samurai says,
I'm a flamper.
That sounds kind of expensive for a membership for
$2.25. Bite me, White Samurai. There's one higher than that.
No. We were joking about the $20 one. But anyway,
Oh,
Curtis Doran.
hey, look, he said he's a philanthropist. That's what I am.
Philanthropist.
I'm a thropist. I'm gonna throp on you later, babe.
Oh, okay, cool. Curtis Doran says slept late. Did my 13A yearly report online. Took about an hour because there were 50 people in my group.
Told you guys, yeah. See, when I put that video out on the other channel, the American Antics, Expat, and Drama Hotline, I tried to tell y'all, I said, get in line now, because here later, if you guys go in or you go online, you're going to be sitting in that room with people. When I did mine on the first one, George was sleeping again. I got in immediately. Like, they let me right in, made an appointment, got it all over in an hour, and made you guys a video by the end of the day. Cooked Bonehead here, some biscuits and gravy and bacon, and then loved him up, massaged his feet with baby oil, and then went about my day all before all of you woke up. Come on, guys. Be more like Heidi.
Right. Lou says Derek has 2 kids with that woman.
Okay. But is he married? I'm trying to figure out
visa I
status. No, I would believe that. I didn't pay attention to kids being around or marriage or, I mean, it still doesn't mean that you would put a business in somebody's name or a resort. That's a big purchase. But remember, he could be getting people to invest. And I hate to say it, it's really easy to sucker people into getting them to do stuff here in the Philippines. And they build this dream and this thought and they manipulate people. Guys, wake up. I just can't do it. I can be mean. I can be mean and real straight with you guys, but I can't see suckering people in for money and saying, we got this real good ideal of this resort, and it's going to be like the Kellogg's resort, and it's going to be based on bamboo and coconut oil, and it's going to be based on everything coconut, and everybody's going to wear white, and we're going to rub them down with oil, and they're going to be so relaxed. Even the drinks will be in clear, it'll be clear liquor, clear, we can build that whole dream, but I need you to invest about $4 million each. And we're going to, blah, blah, blah. I can't do any of that. It's coming, guys. I have the business plans for it.
There you go.
The next Diddy resort. Then we call it the Diddy Pitty Witty Titty
the next PDD
resort.
There
yes.
you go. Yep. Hey, at least we'll give our guest Buko Pandan. So
man,
they'll be happy.
Really good. Yep.
Thank you so much, FX Trader. Thank you so much, Scott and the world.
And our members in the house.
Scott and Isa. Sorry, I know he changed
Scott
his name.
and Isa.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ted. Appreciate you so much.
Yes. All right, guys. Take care. And we'll see you soon. I'm going to get you, puppy.
Bye.
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 Bye.